Hey guys, Barry at CTech-review. Got a fun one for you today. We're going to be doing some more mods on the 2025 Ram 1500 RHO. Let's do this. So we got something fun in the mail the other day from our friends over at Timbergrove. And they have a new kit out for the RHO and for the TRX. And here's what's going on. Our fellow who owns the company, he's taken some suggestions from myself and some others of how do we get even more off-road capability without sacrificing on-road compliance with the RHO. We tow this trailer a lot. We got another video coming on this. We just did a 1,000-mile tow with that setup with the Gen 1 bags. They work really good. We got the Gen 1s attached. Right now, you can kind of see them down in there. We found on this trip, we were running like 25 pounds of pressure. That's all we needed. And it kept this thing in place. This is the new setup. This is called the Gen 2. And what he's done is a completely different bag design. This is called a tri-convoluted bag system. So you can still get full extension of the suspension on the RHO or TRX. But you go from like, I think it's like 4 or 5 inches less travel than stock. You gain like, I think like 3 or 3.5 more inches of compression travel. So if you look at this distance here of where this is set up, and I'm going to pull off the Gen 1 bags here in a second, but this is a better setup. So there's a lot of advantages to this. Number one, you can run no pressure in this, so it won't impact your ride quality. That's huge. Secondly, you're going to be able to get the full extension. You get less full compression travel. And why this is a big deal with compression travel, and I didn't really realize this until I actually just got these things, is when you reduce this compression travel, especially off-road, why it's a big deal, especially with the RHO and TRX, is when you're using these things off-road, the last bit of compression in these Bilstein shocks is you actually get a lot of dampening, where at that full compression, if you don't have that, you're going to get into the bump stops really hard. So now with this new setup, you're going to be able to get more travel and you're going to have less ride quality impact. This is going to be pretty sweet, and I'm curious to see how this is going to install. I pulled the other set off now a few times, and I can already see they've got a little bit more clearance in this area, so it should have less contact as far as any interference of other things. And I can tell this is still like a really good stainless material, all the hardware comes with it. We've got all the instructions here. I'm just going to leave this here where you guys, if you want, I'll put a link down below for all the information. You can kind of pause these pages. He still mentions trimming off that lower bracket on the driver's side. It's got some great pictures, installation, recommendation. You can kind of see. I won't spend a ton of time with talking about this because we did a pretty in-depth review on the last one, but I'm going to at least show you how quickly these things install. And if there's any tips, I'll share them with you. I pulled out this is off the driver's side and the passenger side. I was actually able to get the whole passenger side off in one piece, but the driver's side, I did have to remove the bottom frame mount or axle mount separate. But this is the old lower bracket. This is the new for the Gen 2. They look the same. I don't really see much difference. If there is a difference, it's kind of hard to tell, but that looks pretty similar. But here's the difference in bags. So this came off the driver's side. This is the driver's side. I want to just kind of show you guys here. So put them right next to each other. You can see when we compress this one all the way, that's all the way in, versus this one. Look at that distance here. It's a lot more distance here. You can see definitely a few more inches of travel because this is fully compressed, and you got a little better clearance, it looks like, on this new upper bracket than the other one, which is not a problem on the driver's side, but it is a little tighter on the passenger side. But yeah, this is the old Firestone bag versus the new tri-convoluted bag. So now let's get this one started. So I know we talked about the install on the last job, but we already got the line from the last kit, so that's already done. So now we just got to attach it to the bottom side of the axle and the top side of the frame here on the driver's side. And we'll do the same side on the passenger side. So I know for a fact immediately this thing takes up less room because I was able to install this as all one assembly, whereas the old bag, when I pulled off, I had to pull off the lower bracket around the frame. I was able to keep the lower and upper bracket, and it's still not contacting this. So that instantly tells me I've got more compression travel here and extension here. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys something pretty slick. See this little like stub pulled in here? Push that in. How slick is that? So basically what the guys over at Timbergrove did is created this little vacuum nipple in here. It helps with installation because this basically just holds it up. As soon as you pop that out, the whole thing drops in. Pretty slick. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna push this all the way up to the top, which it already is, but I'm gonna make sure it's completely flush against the frame, tighten the top frame side. Then I'm going to drop the jack and then center this on the bottom side of the axle side mount. Okay, before we go and talk about the installation and everything of the Gen 2 kit, I just want to show you what this setup looks like after, I don't know, 6-8 months. Went through a wintertime, a bunch of towing in the wintertime, but I want to show you guys important things about when you use stuff in the Midwest. Proper grade of hardware goes a long ways. I want you guys to look at this. These nuts, bolts, all the stainless, all looks freaking awesome. I don't see any corrosion on this. So this goes to show they're using good metal. I mean, this is good stuff. I mean, it literally does not look like it's had hardly any use, any abuse. The setup is held up really well. These are obviously pretty good airbags, hardware, stainless, everything's good. Okay, some pro tips. Now that I've installed the Gen 1 and Gen 2 setup. Gen 2 is easier to install because it's shorter, which is why you get more compression travel. So it's much easier to assemble. Follow the directions to a T that he provides on the website and you'll be fine. I've got everything attached now, everything level across both sides, everything tightened up per the specs. Now what we're gonna do is we're going to put some air in these things and see how they do. Okay, we've got no air in the back of this setup right now. We're gonna put a little air in it right now, but before we do this, I wanna just take a quick measurement. Just shy of 41 inches. We'll call it 40 and 15/16. Now let's check on the front here. About 39 and just shy of 39 3/4. So what is that? About 1 inch rake to the rear. So I think that's pretty factory rake now. Let's throw 3 PSI in it now and see what it looks like. Okay, quick plug, guys. I know I've talked about this before. Got a lot of different setups for putting air in airbags, and I'm gonna tell you why I go with this versus a built-in air compressor. We live in the Midwest, and in the Midwest, if I run an air compressor outside, I gotta worry about salt and corrosion. They break, they don't hold up here in our climate. I don't like them inside because they make a bunch of noise. For a handful of times here and there, dude, it's so easy to just hook up the RHO, but honestly, what I like more now is this last foot air compressor. So let me first show you guys. Got 0 PSI in this thing. Put some air in this bad boy. Let's see it go up. It's that simple. We got 3 PSI. What, 10 seconds? Let's see now how much 3 PSI got us for height. That's pretty good. I think 3 PSI put us at about 41.5. That's about 41.5. Let's go to the front again. Versus 39 3/4. Okay, 39 3/4. My brain's not thinking right now. 41.5, so about, what is that, 1 3/4 inch? Sometimes my brain doesn't click, but anyhow, rake looks fine. Let's bump this thing up to 5 PSI. Boom, that's it. Super fast. Okay, so we got 5 PSI in the back of the bags now. So we're gonna keep it right there. By the way, if you're interested in that little last fit, I'll put a link down below. I think it's sweet. We've used it now on a bunch of trips and I just think it's super dandy. Anyhow, we're gonna go hook up the trailer now and see how this thing tows, get the weight distribution all set up with this truck. And let's see how these airbags compare to the Gen 1 setup. So we got a big video coming of showing how this thing tows. It's gonna max the RHO out, but I just wanna at least show you just a real quick hookup. A few things I wanna talk about. Last year, did a big video on the B&W Continuum weight distribution hitch and why I think this is the best weight distribution hitch out there for trucks like this. If you tow and you got a squishier suspension truck and you need payload. That's the key, payload. This is a lightweight setup and it's super slick. I'll put a link down below if you guys are interested in this, and I'll also put a link down below showing the installation, why I went with this. I've used this setup now on 5 different trucks: our Ram 2500, our Raptor R, our Navigator, our Gen 3 Raptor. The connection is super cool, super adjustable. You can change your weight distribution with this hydraulic setup. I want to do my yearly maintenance here, so you should be doing this every time before you start the season. First off, I'm gonna brag about another product here. Dude, if you don't have, seriously, one of these lock and lube grease guns, this is the last grease gun you're gonna have. I mean, I've been hard on this thing. If you look, I've even dropped this thing. It's dented. This thing's awesome for a few reasons. Number one, it clips on. I'm greasing this thing right now, pumping the handle. Thing works awesome. Okay, you can see it coming out of the bottom. Okay, let's switch to the top. I like this thing for 2 reasons. Number one, the clip on this thing works awesome. I've used this thing 24 times. Secondly, if you get sick and tired of having a grease gun that leaks all over your garage, throw it away, dude. This thing is amazing, and that's why I like this one. And I'll put a link to this exact one, why I like using this one, because I can't stand a freaking mess in the garage. It's just awesome. I literally just hang it in the garage like this, hanging it from the loop. It sits there all year and it never leaks. Anyhow, great product. Now we got this bad boy lubed. We're gonna connect this thing and let's just see where this thing sets with the current adjustments. So just for reference, I dropped the PSI from 5 PSI down around 2 PSI. So we're gonna drop this thing on here. We'll see where the pressure's at, and then we'll play with the weight distribution, do a quick ride. We're not doing a drive towing review today. We're just gonna at least show you what the squat looks like with this setup. Okay, we're gonna drop this thing back down. Another little tip I found, a little pro tip. First off, I'm gonna clean these off, get this grease off the side. That drives me crazy, collect dirt, nasty. Little pro tip, when I connect bumper pull trailers, I always try to lead towards the trailer hitch dropping onto the front, because otherwise if it's at the back, you have a hard time connecting. So we're gonna drop this thing down. Let's see what happens here. It's gonna just fall right on, that's what I'm hoping. There we go. That's what I like to see. All right, I don't know if you guys can see. We are loose here. We're completely off the ground now. Got a distance here. She's squatting pretty good. Okay, we got the full weight on this trailer. We're gonna pull this thing out. I can't. I'm gonna have to actually do a little bit of weight distribution, but we'll pull it out with no air. I'm gonna pull all the air out of the bags right now because I know there's air in the bag. Let's see what it looks like. We started with 2 PSI. As you put more pressure on this, your airbag pressure goes up. Let me show you. We're at 14 PSI right now. We have it set. I'm gonna pull this air out and watch how much this thing's gonna drop again. All the air's out. We just took our Schrader valve. That's what an RHO would look like. No weight distribution hooked up. We're probably right here sitting around, I'd say 850, 900 pounds of tongue weight. So now I'm gonna put 2 to 3 PSI in there per the directions. We're gonna hook up the weight distribution per what it should be for this truck combo. Then we're gonna look at the height, and then we're gonna play with the pressure and airbags. So we got the weight distribution all connected. We got a bunch of pressure on this, on the continuum. I'm gonna show you guys something here. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna screw this in here. Got to make sure this is tight. That is really important, okay? Now, we're going to retract this, and we're going to watch the pressure. We're going to watch the pressure go up here. Be interesting to watch. See the pressure going up? There we go. Okay, so we are off now the block. We're going to set this thing at about 1500 PSI. And we're gonna see where we're at. We might have to raise up this hitch because this was on our Ram 2500 last, so we might not have enough ground clearance here, and the trailer might not be level. This is the first crack at this truck towing this trailer. We've towed this with other vehicles, and I need to take a frame membership, but first go at it, the trailer looks really level. I'm not seeing any issues there. I don't think it's too high, too low. It looks really good. Truck squat, everything's looking good there. I might put a little bit more air pressure in the airbags. Weight distribution arms, if we look, these things are at a really good level right now also. Man, I feel like right off the rip, I haven't really had to make much of an adjustment. We're sitting at about, what is that, about 1700 PSI. Now, let's just see, we just drove over here. Let's just hook up the last fit here, and let's just see where we're at with air pressure. If we want to throw a little bit more in here. Okay, so we got 17 PSI in there right now. I'm gonna bump this up to 20. And let's just see, let's go 22. Let's just see what it looks like. That's how quick that thing is. Awesome. So here we are. We're definitely a little bit high in the rear. Now for some perspective, I'm gonna pull all the air out of this. So this would be what your stock truck is like. I want you guys to see. We're gonna take a measurement right now. Okay, 22 PSI. What are we at? 40.5 inches. Let's see where we're at in the front. About 41. Let me see. Just about 41. Let me see where I'm at in the rear again. Make sure I did this right. I'm actually gonna add a little bit to the rear because according to this, my front's still a little bit higher. Bump this to 25. Take another measurement. Okay, so we got 25 PSI now. Now we're almost at 41 inches, 39 3/4. We actually shifted quite a bit. We're 1.5 inches higher in the rear, so a little more than the factory rake. It's probably a little bit too much. I'll probably pull a little air out. Okay, now we'll pull out the air completely with our little air Schrader remover. If you notice, it dropped a ton. So if we just relied on factory suspension, no airbags, with the weight distribution, which is still 1700 PSI, we got the Schrader valve in there. There is no air in the bags at all. We're sitting at 0. Let's just see how much more squat we just added. Dude, we're at 38.5 inches and we were at 41. So that's, what is that, 2.5, 3 inches? Our Gen 3 Raptor, dude, this thing would be sitting on the bump stops right now. I can't believe how much better this thing sits than our Gen 3 Raptor. Let's go to 15 PSI now. Actually, we're gonna go to 20 because that's where I think it's gonna be about the sweet spot. Look how quickly this thing jumps. Okay, 20 PSI. I think that's about perfect. We still don't have the family loaded up. We still don't have anything in the bed of the truck, and the trailer's not full. When we add another 600 pounds of payload in the truck, plus stuff in the trailer, I think it's gonna be about right. Let's see where our measure it's at. We were at 38.5, 40.25, sent about 39 3/4. Okay, so why is this important? So I'm gonna show you, just as my opinion, why I'm a huge fan of two things here with this setup. Number one, these Gen 2 bags, I could already tell driving here, I think they ride a little bit better. Now I'm gonna put more time in after I just installed these, just running around with lower air pressure. I think it's gonna ride a little bit better, okay? But we mix that B&W Continuum hitch with a crap ton of adjustability. We have almost, I'm not gonna say infinite, but you have all different sorts of adjustment by adding more pressure. We can change the arm position in the rear. This is what I like about this setup. You don't have to unbolt anything. You just literally can just move stuff without tools. That's awesome. These Timbergrove airbags, dude, we got a lights out setup for this truck. I've said this before, and I'm gonna say it again, guys. When you take these long travel trucks and you put airbags on them with a good weight distribution setup, I swear these things are like 3/4 ton trucks. You got a stiffer frame, you got better engine cooling, you've got more power, you've got heavier duty tires, you got heavier duty components. Then you put in some airbag help, and then you put in a good weight distribution. Dude, I think this thing is gonna be incredible to tow. We're gonna have a full towing video. We're gonna talk more about the B&W hitch. We'll talk about the suspension, and we're gonna see how the high output Hurricane does with this trailer, because we've towed now about 4,000 miles with our other trailer. Just did 1,000 miles down to West Virginia. There's another video on that. I'll talk about that. That was with the Gen 1 airbag kit. Awesome. Now we're gonna do a 500 mile trip on this, just right around the corner. So that'll be for another future video. But as I've said before, these off-road trucks, when you add a few supplemental upgrades, these things tow like 3/4 ton trucks. Take a measurement on the frame just to see where we're at. 22.5 inches. What are we sitting about? 22 inches. According to a measurement, man, trailer's filthy. We just pulled this out of storage. We got a 1/2 inch lower, 1/2 inch higher in the front. So if we wanted to fine tune this thing, we could drop the air pressure just a little bit and split that 1/2 inch, and we go 1/4 inch drop in the front to rear. 1/2 inch is nothing. I'm not too worried about it. I probably won't even mess with it at all. I think between 20 and 25 PSI is gonna be perfect for this truck and this trailer. So guys, my first impressions of this new Gen 2 Timbergrove airbag setup with the RHO, I think it's just what this truck needed. The other kit was a great kit, super heavy duty, excellent kit. There's not a problem with it. I just think this kit is just a little bit better, and it's a little bit easier to install, so I dig that. We're gonna be doing another video here right around the corner, towing this bad boy. Check this out. It's gonna max this RHO out according to the limits of the manufacturer. We're gonna be about 8,500, 9,000 pounds, right in that range. I don't think the RHO will struggle. So far, I've been super impressed with how this Hurricane's done. And I don't know if it's because the weather's warming out or we're getting near 10,000 miles. This thing's getting better and better. Not worse, it hasn't blown up. So anyhow, guys, I hope you enjoy this video. I'm gonna leave a link down below of this Timbergrove kit if you're interested in it. I think you'll like it. Very easy install. And now that I've had Gen 1 versus Gen 2, kind of comparing the two, pros and cons to each, I don't see a downside with this kit, and I like how it's a little bit easier to install. Hey, if you enjoy the video, guys, give me a thumbs up. If you like it a lot, subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.